And welcome everybody here to Coronado High School for the Coronado Cup. I am Asa Costa, joined alongside Coach. Coach, tell us what we should expect here at your first ever Coronado Cup.
Good morning, everyone. Well, what we're looking at is an extension of our high school season. This is our club season where we do the international styles, freestyle and Greco. So we've got, a handful of kids from different high schools that are participating in this tournament. It's one of those things where you've got to spend as much time as possible on the mat to be highly successful in this sport. And so the Coaches Association, we get together and put these tournaments on in conjunction with USA Wrestling to give our athletes the opportunity to continue to compete. There's no better way than preparing for matches and wrestling more matches. And so we do this in the effort to raise the level of our wrestling here in the greater El Paso area.
And as you see on your screen, on the left-hand side, that will be Mat 2. That is Sebastian Armendariz versus Elijah Black there. Great match there. Can you tell us a little bit about those wrestlers?
Yeah, for sure. Sebastian Armendariz is a senior from Pebble Hills High School. Elijah Black, he's a Sun Ellie wrestler. And what we're seeing right now is the score is 6-1. And if you're unfamiliar with freestyle and Greco, the scoring opportunities are a little bit different than the folk style rules. And so you're going to notice that there's not a lot of mat wrestling that takes place, because in the event that one wrestler does take down the other wrestler, the mat wrestling is very quick. If there isn't a position or a lock that's going to be scored, the referee will bring them back up to their feet. So freestyle and Greco is highly competitive in the neutral position. As we can see on mat 1, we've got Sebastian Metzger. He just hit a takedown. If you notice, he's trying to turn his opponent with a leg lace. If there is no action, there's no possibility of score, the ref will give him a short time to work and blow the whistle and bring them back up to their feet. So these two styles are highly high-paced styles. It's what the rest of the world competes in internationally. They do not compete in folk style. That is only an American style. And so to become a world or Olympic champ, you must master these two styles.
Looks like a pin opportunity happening there on mat number 2. Nope, he reverses it. Or time, huh?
But yes, it's the end of the first period. Now, that's the other thing. Slight difference in the way the bouts are scheduled, structured. So in freestyle and Greco, there's 2 30-minute periods. You'll have a 30-second break in between periods to where the athletes can catch their breath, meet with the coach real quick, and find out what tactical adjustments they need to make. So contrary to folk style, where there isn't a break in the action per se, in between periods happens really quickly, but freestyle and Greco, there is a 30-second segment in between periods to make tactical adjustments, and they are also supposed to towel off between periods, something contradictory to what we do in folk style, but athletes must be toweled off, dried, so that the locks that the opponents try to put on one another, they don't slip off, and so it doesn't impede the action that's taking place on the mat.
As it looks like mat 1's got some new wrestlers there. Is Derek Rojo versus Alejandro Marin.
Yes,
off.
And the score just ended. That ends the bout, 10-0. So another difference between the international styles and folk style. In folk style, technical superiority is a winning by a margin of 15 points. And in freestyle, you establish technical superiority, which will stop the bout at a 10-point differential. In Greco, it's a little different. It is 10 points as well. They just made that rule change. It used to be an 8-point differential. Now it's back up to a 10-point differential where it's matching both. Both styles are now matching. And so we see on mat 1, it looks like we've got Coronado, Hector Prado from Coronado, and Caleb Cuevas from Bordertown Brawlers. And if you just saw what happened, he got a takedown to a quick lace. He's up 4-0. So the points are scored very quickly in freestyle.
Looks like a pin opportunity there on mat number 2.
Yes, Sebastian Armendariz with a head and arm, putting his opponent straight from his feet to his back with the opportunity to, number 1, he scored 4 points on that specific technique, and now he's able to work for the fall or a pin, and he gets the pin.
Early work there for him as well. Like I said, great opportunity here for these young wrestlers showing off their skills.
Yes, sir. And another thing to note is that if there's a stall in the action or a lull in the action, if there's no advancements, no scoring opportunities, the referee will also blow a whistle to bring them up to their feet to start the action once again, so that there is an opportunity for scoring. There's relatively little to no downtime when it comes to freestyle and Greco wrestling because of the way the rules are structured. It demands, if you will, a high-level action. Hector Prado from Coronado in the red in a nice ankle lace, able to tie up the score. We have a score of 4-4 on that one.
Can you tell us a little bit about these wrestlers? A lot of them, excelling in their high school careers here. What have you seen from when they started wrestling?
It's one of those things where we have our participation in freestyle and Greco is growing, but we did start off really slow. Honestly, it was partly to do with COVID, and then just for a while there, El Paso really lost some ground to where we used to have tournaments the size of 500 kids that would be participating. We're back up to about 200, but we still have some growing to do and some catching up to do. And mainly what we see with our freestyle and Greco season is we really try and focus on the kids that need the extra matches, the development. We will get some of our better wrestlers, our state champs and our state placers to participate, but one of the things that that we try and focus on is this is a great time for those kids who may have not wrestled varsity. They may be on the JV level. This is a great opportunity for them to challenge themselves and wrestle varsity wrestlers, because there is no separation in levels. There is no JV or varsity. Everyone's entered in the same bracket and corresponding weight class and age group. So you have some highly competitive kids that will challenge the ones that are up and coming, the ones that are developing.
Right there, sorry to interrupt, but right there on mat 2, a lot of moves and slamming there between Habali and Solis. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. So we've got, that was Jordan Solis from Parkland, senior, who's looking to move on. He's, don't know if he's committed to Schreiner University yet or not. That was the anticipation that he would go and attend Schreiner University and continue his wrestling career, obviously his education as well, which is most important. But really strong kid, very tactical and very athletic. So that's the other thing that about the sport is with those explosive moves like he was hitting, each one of those from going feet to back is a 4-point move, and you can see how quickly the points start to stack up.
They stack up quick, and the matches are finishing very, very fast, like a lot faster than what I'm used to just seeing on the regular high school area.
Correct. And see, another difference from the high school style, folk style, versus the international styles is you can use the same hold to score multiple times. In folk style, what we wrestle in the high school season, once a hold is used to score, it must be broken. The opponent on the bottom must be able to defend themselves, return to a defendable position before they can be turned again. So they lose the lock, if you will, they lose the hold. And so when you're wrestling freestyle and Greco, you're able to use the same hold to continuously turn your opponent. So you get one good hold, one good lock, that could end the match. So we're here in mat 1 in the red, Hector Prado and Caleb Cuevas. Caleb Cuevas on top in the blue loaded up a leg lace, and he's attempting to get back to that leg lace. And so once he has this lock, he can turn multiple times. So there's this 2-point score, same hold, and he's going for another 2-point score. There it is again. That scores as well. So the lock does not have to be broken. It's continuous action with the same hold.
Great call there. I mean, a lot of technique, what folks don't understand here when it comes to the sport of wrestling. Put your toughness to the test.
It's a combination of things, and that's what makes the sport great. Is aside from the tactical and technical aspects of it, it's a mentally and physically challenging sport, and so it encompasses a lot of different abilities and skills that you must develop. And there's no better way than just spending a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon in the gym, on the mat, wrestling, and getting comfortable performing out there in the middle of the mat with, the eyes on you and a different opponent rather than just your practice partner from every day. So this is a great opportunity for kids to develop not only their skills but also their their mental toughness and being comfortable out there performing on the mat.
Now, you couldn't do this without the help of sponsors. What would you like to say about one of your top sponsors there, Tropicana Properties? They're helping you guys out throughout these past years.
These guys have been wonderful. Mr. Demetrio Jimenez and Tropicana have been extremely generous to Coronado Wrestling and to the wrestling community in general. They're always sponsoring our photo shoot from 915 Wrestling, where we highlight our outstanding wrestlers citywide. And, I can't say enough about Tropicana. It just takes a phone call and, a quick conversation with Mr. Demetrio Jimenez. And, just like that, it's like, Coach, what do you need? What's going on with wrestling? What can I help with? And always looking to help, always looking to support the wrestling community. And we're extremely grateful for their partnership with us and their sponsorship. Here we go.
So normally in this circuit, about how many wrestlers are competing here in the city of El Paso?
Well, as of lately, there's been a little bit of lull in the action, and so we typically hover around 200 wrestlers, 200 participants, and that's up from a couple of years back where we were only scratching the surface of maybe hitting 100, and now we've had a great turnout. We're rebuilding this the entries and the participation in our off-season programs, and we're up to about 200 entries just week in, week out, and so we are we're building it back up. We're getting back up there. Okay, on mat number 1, we have Gloria Vasquez from Burgess High School, wrestling Vida Conde, a Montwood High School wrestler. Gloria Vasquez this past 2 weeks ago placed second at our state tournament in freestyle, and she was a third place finisher at the state tournament for UIL in the 5A division. She's a solid wrestler looking to continue wrestling at the next level, and she is a Burgess graduate. A Burgess junior attending the early college there. Gloria Vasquez in on a shot, able to turn Montwood's back to the mat, gaining a 2-point exposure. And on mat 2, we have James Barty wrestling Dante Vargas, another Montwood wrestler. So one other thing that's different from the folk style and freestyle Greco rules is the fact that activity is highly regulated, if you will, or judged. So if there is a lull in the action by one wrestler, the official will signal to that wrestler to warn them that they're being passive or not active enough. And after the second warning, they go on a shot clock. Similar to basketball, they've got a shot clock. So on this shot clock, normally referred to as the activity clock, the person who's been warned twice for lack of activity goes on this shot clock, and the activity clock will run for 30 seconds. If there's no score by the person on the activity clock, their opponent receives a 1-point penalty point. And so it encourages action at all times. The referee will encourage action verbally, but then also call their attention to it, and then put them on the activity clock and potentially penalize them if they are not wrestling or actively looking to gain a hold or score.
Which is good because, like in basketball in college, they can just hold that ball, dribble.
Yes, and and this being a high-paced sport as it is, you typically wouldn't see that they would just hold back or quit being as active. But you are playing some tactics. If you're up with the lead, you may want to hold on to that lead and not wrestle as much and just grab a hold of something, a wrist, an elbow, and hold on to that, control and not allow any scoring or wrestling to take place. And so what we're trying to do is encourage activity, scoring holds at all times. So this is why we have an activity clock. It just encourages wrestling to take place at all times. Now what we're seeing here on mat number 2 is Gael Ornelas from Americas High School wrestling Andrick Zuniga from Coronado. Gael out to a quick 2-0 start.
Oh, he's running and gets him out there.
Yes.
What is the rules on that? Do they have to land first before their opponent, or is it just a straight slam?
So they do not have to land first for the opponent. It's really different from the folk style rules. Whereas folk style, you must have control of your opponent, and in freestyle, you do not have to have control. As long as the action that you create exposes their back, you are scoring points. And the other different aspect of the rules from freestyle to folk style is that you can score out of bounds. The out of bounds line doesn't stop action, doesn't stop scoring. If you start an action within the out of bounds lines, it can continue out of bounds and still be scored. So it's a lot different from folk style, whereas out of bounds means completely stopping the action, stopping the scoring. If the action starts inside the circle, it can continue outside of the circle and score. The only difference being is falls or pins. They cannot take place outside of the wrestling area, the wrestling circle. They must stay. The shoulders of the opponent must be within the mat, head within the mat, in order to be a valid fall or a pin in freestyle Greco.
So Prieto has a commanding lead over, I can't say his last name. But
Reznichenko. Sasha Reznichenko.
What country is that from?
Russian. He's of Russian descent. Yeah. And Adrian Prieto just recently made the national team for Mexico. He will be representing Team Mexico at the age group level events. He recently made that team going out to the national qualifier in Mexico, making the team, and is now going to be representing them at the age level group championships.
That is awesome. Happening on mat 2 is Liam Black versus Hector Prado. great matchup here. I think we saw Prado earlier in the earlier rounds. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was in a barn burner with Caleb Cuevas from Sanelli, wrestling for the Border Brawlers Wrestling Club. And they had a tight match. They went back and forth, and Caleb Cuevas able to break it open with the leg lace again, getting a hold of both ankles, turning them multiple times with the same hold, and really blowing the match open. I believe the final score was 13-7, and multiple 2-point scores on that leg lace. And that's the dangerous aspect, if you will, of freestyle and Greco is one hold and one technique can end the match if executed properly. They do not have to let go of the hold. They do not have to restart in any fashion. They can stay with that same hold until they reach that 10-point differential. And as long as they stay in bounds, they can keep scoring with that same hold. So obviously it's one of those tactics that you are going to be trying to master, trying to make sure that you're able to transition from a takedown straight into a turn. Not have to let go of the hold. They do not have to restart.
We want to keep the tournament rolling. Now, if again,
So how you said this tournament you structured? You want to make sure all the wrestlers are getting into that round robin. How does that make that a little bit more challenging for them?
One of the things we try to do with these tournaments is, we're really using these to develop skill and confidence. So we don't eliminate kids. We just do have them wrestle in a round robin fashion so that it's not your typical format where, you lose one or two bouts, you're out of the tournament. We want them to continue wrestling, continue developing and gaining the experience. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's a bit of a sacrifice to be here on a Saturday morning. And, kudos to the kids that are here because, it's taking time away from them, from their families. They could be doing anything else that a normal high school kid would be doing on a Saturday. But instead, they're out here putting themselves to the test, developing skills, developing the correct mindset. And so it's important that they put in the time. Obviously, the more time they're on the mat, the better wrestlers they become.
That is awesome there. Like I said, trying to master their craft and have some fun and make some new memories.
Yes. And that's one of the things that I always tell my kids as well. Hey, go out and wrestle on a Saturday. These tournaments, as you can see, the matches can end pretty quick. They don't last as long as some of our UIL events. Those are typically 2-day events where you're in the gym for 2 solid days. And if anyone's ever been to one of our bigger tournaments, say the Bowie Invitational, you're there for 2 days solid.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah, you got to pack a lunch and don't make any plans. And, you're busy. It's a long weekend. And, we have the luxury of being able to host these tournaments. And, they're one-dayers. Typically, we finish the freestyle and Greco tournaments in one day in a matter of like 6 hours. And so it's a little bit, less of a time commitment, but they get the matches in the mat time regardless, and they get to showcase their skills and continue working on developing to just to be better wrestlers and to be both in all three styles, freestyle, Greco, and folk style, because a lot of the skills from freestyle and Greco translate to folk style. And so, like we tell the kids, hey, keep training, keep wrestling. This is going to make you a state champ. You can be a state champ in folk style, you can be a state champ in freestyle, a state champ in Greco. And we just try to develop their skills and apply them to all three different styles.
Being in the wrestling arena for all these years, and with the new technology that is available to us and the new partnership that you have with us here, what is the goals that you want to set out in this next coming year and beyond?
Yeah, great question. So here's my vision. Number one, we have great wrestling in El Paso, and we want to be able to share that with everyone. And what better platform than to be able to stream it, be on your platform with EP Sports Network, and have people across the nation, literally and globally, be able to log in and watch our kids. This gives an opportunity for family members that aren't in the, out of state or out of town, be able to watch their family members compete, and then, really showcase the level of talent that we have in El Paso. One of the things that we've done is we've sent the link out for this tournament out to college coaches to make them aware that, we have talent in El Paso. we are a hotbed for wrestling, and for lack of colleges and programs that are around your area, these kids are always looking for a place to go on and wrestle at the next level. And so it's a great opportunity for us to be able to share with college coaches, the talent that we have here, and be able for them to see it visually and get a good idea of what kind of prospects and recruits there are in El Paso. So we want to be able to bring this, our wrestling community to the college coaches and be able to broadcast it so that family members can see their loved ones wrestling, and then also just to bring a little bit more awareness to the general public that we've got some great wrestlers in El Paso. Great technique by Jordan Solis from Parkland there on mat 1. He's wrestling Angel Polendo from Bordertown Brawlers. He hit a front head pinch, which is it's a strictly freestyle Greco move, not allowed in folk style, but it is utilized in freestyle and Greco. He's got his opponent up in the air and now looking for a 4-point score. He does. So a 4-point score going straight from feet to back will score 2 points on the takedown and 2 points on the exposure. One thing to note is it's important that the way these points are scored, instead of 2 and 2, that is combined for a 4-point score. And what I mean by that is these techniques have point values. So if they take the wrestler straight from their feet to their back, that's a 4-point move. What happens is, in the event that they end up tied up, a 4-4 score, the person that accumulated their 4 points in one technique, in one move, versus a person who scored 2 2-point moves, although the score is identical for 4, the person that accumulated all their points with one technique would win that tiebreaker, the criteria. So it's important that these points and the moves are evaluated and scored correctly, because a 4-4 score could be tied, but if one person has the 4-point move, they would have criteria over the other person, even though they have the same score and identical score. So the point values are important when it comes to determining who the winner is. There's no overtime or no ties in freestyle and Greco. Those point value moves are what determine our winner. If they do not have 4-point moves, so let's just say it's a 2-2 score, we both have 2-point moves, then it would fall to the next criteria, which would be who has the most amount of cautions. And cautions are earned by doing things that are, I wouldn't say punishable, but there are infractions of the rules. For example, a person is backing out of bounds to prevent scoring. Well, then they're going to be cautioned for not wrestling, for not being active. And then that caution would be another criteria that would be used as a tiebreaker. And last but not least, the third tiebreaker in a tie score in freestyle and Greco is who scored last. So if it's a 1-1 score, whoever scored the last point, they would be considered the winner by criteria. So lots of little nuances in these styles compared to folk style, but it makes for some exciting wrestling, makes for some great matches, and like we're seeing already, they do go quick.
They do go really, really fast there. Like you said, those 4-point holds right there, that's a game changer.
Yes.
That's where, like you said, technique comes into play. Learning your moves, whatever fits your style, and if you can apply it, there you go.
Yeah, the 4-point move is big, and the ability to keep a lock and continue to score with the same lock is big as well. And so, yeah, we typically see, some high-flying moves that'll score 4s, and then, keeping the same lock and utilizing it to score, get to a 10-point score, 10-point differential. They go kind of quick. So, it's another thing that's different from folk style, because you'll see folk style matches go the whole 6 minutes and maybe even overtime. Again, there is no overtime or ties in freestyle and folk style. Freestyle and Greco. It is all determined on the mat by point value moves and who scored last.
Which is a great thing, because setting them up for those that are going to try to maybe one day live out their dream and compete in the Olympics or something in other world championships that happen throughout the world. So getting them prepped for that.
Yeah, and you know what? That's one of the things that we will comment to the kids. Hey, remember, you can't win a world title in folk style. You can't win a Olympic title in folk style. It's got to be in one of the two disciplines, the international styles, freestyle and Greco. And so, in order to achieve those goals, achieve those dreams, they got to start at an early age, understanding the nuances of the different styles and practicing the holds and techniques in those styles, and that way, eventually they can get to those levels and those aspirations of becoming a world champ, Olympic champ.
A lot of great female talent here in the city. As a matter of fact, I think can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but she is getting inducted into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. She was a graduate of Mountwood. I think she went to Oklahoma. I gotta find out.
Would it be Esther Walker or Natalia Hinojos?
That's the one.
Natalia Hinojos, yes. Great wrestler back in the day for Coach Leo Ramirez, and a great kid, and then had a great, solid college career at Oklahoma City University out in Oklahoma City, and was an assistant coach there for a while, helping develop athletes there, and actively recruited in El Paso to try and get El Paso onto the next level and participating in college.
As we got a great match here on mat number 1, a slam there. Already that's in red. That is Brianna Reese.
Yeah, Brianna Reese is a solid wrestler from Bel Air High School. Coach Carlos Armendariz is doing a great job with those Highlanders. And, it's another thing to note while we're bringing up Hall of Fame inductees. A soon-to-be Hall of Fame inductee would be Haley Delgado, a freshman phenom who won the state title in the UIL competition, but also is a Pan Am champion. She is, a sister of Isaiah Delgado, a 2-time state champ from Eastwood and runner-up, and also a Division I wrestler. And, we're extremely proud of Haley because she's really putting El Paso on the map by what she's doing on the international level as well. She's, she's someone to keep an eye out for.
So those fights in the household between brother and sister were kind of competitive there.
I'm
no
sure.
pushovers.
No, not at all. They probably settled a lot of debates that way, like, hey, who's doing the dishes? Well, you are. No, you are. And they probably settled it on the mat.
Loser takes out the trash.
Yeah. That would be a great way. And you see that often. You see that often when brothers are training together, brother and sister, sisters and sisters. When you have a sibling that wrestles, it's kind of an advantage because you kind of learn through their mistakes, and obviously they're going to, whether you see them and just identify what the mistakes are, or they, share with you, hey, I should have done this and I didn't, I did this instead. There's an opportunity to learn there, and there's so much to learn in this sport that, whether you're learning it through your own experiences or the experiences of others, it's still valuable information, valuable knowledge to gain from those, your siblings or your teammates.
New set of matches here on mat 1 and mat 2. You got James Barty versus Sebastian Metzger.
Yeah, so we got James Barty, who is, a tall, lanky wrestler, and Sebastian Metzger, another tall, lanky wrestler. And so they're both, we're wrestling Greco here on mat 1, and they're both able to utilize some of that leverage and get to the body in Greco, which is what you want to do to be able to lift your opponent. And then the reach that they have, this is great right here in this position with those long arms. They're able to, there we go, use those long arms to counter and to score action from there. No score on that action yet. James Barty looking to get around Sebastian Metzger. He's going to pull his left arm out and go behind. Scores 2 on the takedown. And now, if you notice, the referee will be giving him some time to work a lock, work a score, and now he brings him up. So again, not a lot of mat wrestling. If there's no action taking place, there's no potential points to be scored, they bring them right up and they get right into the action on their feet.
And that's a good thing because, like, when they just lay there like some logs, it can get like, come on, guys, do something.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes for, a less attractive product for the spectator. They don't want to see anyone laying around. Quite the opposite of what wrestling's all about. We're movers, we're goers. We're trying to make sure that we're putting on some action, scoring some technique. Sebastian Metzger with a 2-point turn. He's got what's called a trapped arm gut. This is the game changer. So with an arm trap behind him, James Barty's unable to defend himself, unable to defend that gut wrench, and so Sebastian Metzger goes up by 2 points, a 6-4 score, which he was down 4-0 and is able to take him down and turn him twice with that trap arm gut. He's going up 6-4 with about 15 seconds left in that first period. So as soon as this period ends, they'll have a 30-second break between periods, and then they will continue and resume wrestling. So what you see there is Sebastian Metzger was pushed out by James Barty. The fact that the opponent stepped out is a 1-point score for James Barty. So now we have a score of 6-5 based on that last sequence where Sebastian Metzger was forced out of bounds. So again, reinforcing action in the center of the mat. You step out of bounds, you're going to be you're going to award your opponent a point. So all action must take place inside the center, and they reward the wrestlers who are able to keep the action flowing in the center of the mat. You float over to the edge of the mat and get pushed out. You're surrendering a point.
All aspects covered there, which is great to see because you want to run out of bounds, you'll deduct, get a point awarded to your opponent. So
yeah, and and the other thing is, if you literally run out of bounds, you're avoiding wrestling. That's going to be what's called a caution and one for fleeing the mat, and it encourages action to take place in the center of the mat, encourages a high pace of wrestling and points to be scored, which is helpful in creating something for the fans to see, something for them to be excited about. Oh, so James Barty reversing that position, getting a takedown on Sebastian Metzger. Sebastian Metzger trying to belly down, avoid the fall. He does, but he gives up 4 points on the move from feet to back. So he goes ahead by 3. He is now up 9-6. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left in that bout. On mat 2, we've got Derek Rojo from Hanks High School and Julian Castagnaro from Coronado battling it out in a 4-3 match going on mat number 2 with 2:33 left in the period. Now, one thing to note, so you can't be overly aggressive, because if you are, then it takes your opponent is able to utilize that over-aggression, use that momentum to score against you. Sebastian Metzger with a 4-point move goes up by 1. We've got a barn burner on that one. Ace, we've got some action going on that one. It's 10-9 with 1:30 left. Sebastian Metzger trying to put the match away with a fall. He's got a great position. He might get the fall. He does get the fall in over James Barty. Closely contested match. Sebastian Metzger pulls it out at the end with a fall with 1 minute and 26 seconds left in that period.
Like you said, he was down 4-0 early on in that match.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too, and you'll see at the senior level as well. There's the World Team Trials are going on right now in Louisville, Kentucky. These are the gentlemen that are the ladies and the men that are trying to make the World Team, and you'll see it to where it could be 9-0 with one more point to end the match. And then the opponent will come storming back, and it goes again with those big high point moves, a feet to back move, scoring 4, and then just finding, a hold like a leg lace or a gut wrench that they can turn multiple times, and then they're right back in on the match. So it's it goes quick, points get stacked up quick, and you're never really out of the match. Just like they say, as long as there's time on the clock, you're still in the match.
Find that 4-point move.
Yeah, got to find that 4-point move. Get a good lock on your gut or a lace, and you're good to go. Mat number 1, we have Andric Zuniga, Dante Vargas battling out. Andric Zuniga from Coronado High School, Dante Vargas from Montwood High School. Dante Vargas trying to work a 2-on-1, a Russian 2-on-1, going to a fireman's carry, does not score it. Andric Zuniga out in front. He's got a front headlock, rolls him through, so that's a 2-point exposure for red. And now they're back on their feet. So 2-0, great exposure there. He hit a front head pinch to score his 2-point exposure. And again, different from folk style, you don't have to have control of your opponent. As long as you expose them, the points are scored. Nice duck under by Dante Vargas. He's going up 2-2. And as you can see, the underline from on blue score, if you look at the scoreboard, it has a 2 and then an underline underneath it, signaling or symbolizing the fact that he's got criteria as of now. So if the match were to end right now, he would win on criteria because he has scored the last point. It's a tie score, 2-2, but based on criteria, the last point scored, he is up 2. It's tied 2-2, but he is up on criteria. Both guys working actively in the over and under position. Now Andric Zuniga's got a front head pinch. He's got a chest wrap. He's trying to get around him. And now he rolls him through. He's scoring 2, red. And now, he ends up on top. He ends up with a head and arm position. Could put this match away. So he's in trouble now. Dante Vargas has got to fight off his back. Andric Zuniga with the head and arm, holding him on his back, looking for the fall. If he can lift his elbow up, eliminate the bridge that Dante Vargas is trying to hit with his head, he could earn the fall here. But Dante Vargas doing a great job fighting back, and he is out of danger from getting pinned.
What a save there.
He did, and that's what you got to do. You just got to survive, and as long as there's time on that clock, you can continue to wrestle. You can continue to chip away at the lead, put yourself back into the match, back into a position to win. We've got 44 seconds left in period 1. Both wrestlers scoring points, 6-2. Nice throw by Dante Vargas. So he scores another 2, looking for a reverse lift. Great defense by Zuniga. Oh, look, he's got him up in the air. This will score 4 because he's lifting him from his feet and exposing him in midair. He scores a 4-point move. He's going to go up 8-6 on this.
What a move there.
Great lift. Smart wrestling by Dante Vargas to realize, hey, I need to score some points in bunches. Let me get to this reverse lift and score. Double underhooks by, there we go. Pushing him out of bounds. Is there a score there? Was time out before they went out of bounds? Looks like time was out before that.
Saved by the bell.
Is saved by the bell. Yeah, it looks like time ran out before that step out could be scored.
Another pin attempt over here on mat number 2.
Oh, Yusuf Hubail from Coronado on his back, fighting through. Oh, he lives to fight another day. Got off his back. Angel Polando's just a strong kid out of Sanelli. They're gonna bring him up now, but it's a 4-4 score with, it looks like Angel Polando holding criteria, and we know that because of the underline underneath the score, underneath the 4 for blue. So he's scored, they changed the score to 6-4. So Yusuf Ubail down by 2 on mat 2, and we've got an 8-6 score on mat 1 with red just scoring another point, so 7-8. Andric Zuniga clawing away at that lead from Dante Vargas. Waiting on a body lock. We've got to watch himself. There's 2 for red, so he's up by a point, and the ability to turn him here. Let's see if they give him time to work on top. He does have a lock. Unable to turn him just yet. There he goes. He's trying to gut wrench him. He's not going, so they bring him up. No opportunity to score there. No points given or awarded. So they'll continue the action on their feet. Both these guys are letting it fly. They are really, really wrestling, really trying to score some points, staying busy with it. Oh, there's a 2-point gator roll by Andrick Zuniga. He scores 2 on the exposure. He's trying to step over, be able to expose Dante Vargas, and he gets the fall.
And Sanelli on mat
Great
number
job.
2, trying to avoid being pinned.
Oh, no. Well, that's a great comeback from Yusuf Ubail, who was down in this match. Ends up getting the score, ends up putting him on his back, unable to get the fall, but is back in the match, 6-6 with criteria. Some great wrestling going on. You know, it's one of those things where, it's, you never know who your opponent's going to be. These guys are really matched up. It's a smaller turnout today, but the kids that we've got here, they're getting after it.
You never underestimate your opponent because you got to go one-on-one. It's not a team sport. It's mano a mano, girl versus girl. Like, it's can't hide behind anything.
You cannot hide behind anything, and you are solely responsible for your success. You know, you've got to, you got to answer for whatever takes place out there. And I think it's a great sport in that aspect that, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And like what we tell our athletes, it's the same in life. You want to be successful in life, put in the work, put in the consistency, the focus on what you need to do the right things, and great things will happen. And, winning and success are byproducts of doing the right things. And no better sport to highlight that, to really focus in on that, than wrestling. Of course, that's my biased opinion.
Yeah, of course. but they get both aspects. They get the team aspect of it, of working alongside a team, trying to get the overall goal for the team. But you got the individual aspect where it's you versus your competitor. So you get both sides of the spectrum there to help develop that young individual, for the future.
Yeah, it is the best of both worlds. It is an individual sport, but you are a part of your team. Obviously you're scoring points for your team. You've got a team behind you that you train with. And I got to say, wrestling's unique in that aspect where we really, really honor and respect our opponents, because your opponent is what's going to raise your level. You've got to raise your level and match your opponent's level. So, a lot of people think that it's a battle of opponent versus opponent, which is true. But the biggest opponent that you have is yourself. You've got to go out there and execute. You got to go out there and remove all fear, all doubt, and be able to wrestle whomever it is that's in front of you. You could be wrestling a state champ, a national champ, whatever it is. You've got to raise your level and try to wrestle the best to your abilities. So we take great pride in wrestling that our opponents are there for us to grow, to challenge ourselves, to be better. So we respect them in that fact that they're there to make us better. They're there to challenge us, and it's a lot of honor and respect in that aspect within our sport.
And it looks right here on mat number 1, Viva Conde versus Mariel Nunez.
Oh, Mariel's in danger now. Oh, she looks about to get pinned. Viva Conde just kind of caught her in a situation where she was unable to recover and gets the fall.
Almost like a new rivalry between Mountwood and Pebble Hills. They go back to back right there.
They do. And that was a tie score going into that final sequence where Vide Conde was able to catch Mariel Nunez on her feet. We've got a 10-6 match happening on mat 2. Joseph Ubael, Angel Polendo. This is a Greco match. It's 10-6, minute 45 left in the second period. So Yusuf Ubael's got to get busy. Always attempting a head and arm. Doesn't score it. Angel Polendo able to defend it. Gets the 2-point takedown. Defending that attack by Yusuf Ubael. Yusuf Ubael pulling some strings out of his back pocket. Getting to an exposure, but now getting put back onto his back. Let's see if he can fight off it. He does. So
back and forth action.
Back
there.
and forth. So we got a 14-8, a 6-point deficit that Yusuf Ubael needs to make up. So again, they bring him back up to their feet. There's no lull in the action. Let's put them back on their feet, keep it rolling, and keep attacking. So as you can see, Angel Polendo's locked on the wrist, eliminating any attacks that Yusuf Ubiel can attempt here. So that is a tactic to where they're going to guard their lead. They've already scored their points. They've done their work. Now I'm going to just keep my lead, protect my lead by getting on their hands, getting on the wrists, not allowing my opponent to take hold of anything so that they can't score. On mat number 1, we got a battle of teammates. We've got Rose Miranda, Dina Halil battling it out. So this is kind of one of those situations where I tell the girls, you got nothing to lose. This is your practice partner. This is the time for you to go out there and try some stuff and actually wrestle really relaxed, because it's your partner. It's your teammate. There you don't have anything against you. Oh my goodness. Yusuf Ubail with the big throw. He's gonna score 4 off of that. He brings the match closer, but he does need the fall or a turn in order to win this bout, because he's still down 2. I don't know if he's aware of it or not. He's attempting to throw one more. Oh, a desperation move does not work. He goes down by a score of 18-12. Goodness gracious, they put 30 points on the board. They're really getting after it this morning.
There was still one more period to go, or is that only 2?
That was it. Yeah,
was
only
it.
2.
Only 2.
Yeah,
Only
so
2.
2 3-minute periods. Yeah, contrary to what folk style does. Folk style does have 3 periods, and in
30 points. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot of action there. And look, as you can see, Angel Polado on the edge of the mat just drops down to his back. He's exhausted. That is, scoring 30 points like that will get you tired. That's the other thing I tell these guys is, go out there and wrestle. Just treat it as practice. Stay in condition. It's easier to stay in condition than to, stay in shape than to get back into shape. I tell them, stay in shape, even if it's not, we're not in match ready shape, tournament shape, but stay in good baseline shape. Maybe you're not at 100, but stay around 70% of your conditioning, and let's see if we can't just build on that. Instead of having to start all the way from 0 back up to where we need to be, how about we hang around at a comfortable 70% of our conditioning and then be able to step it up as competition comes around. Rose Miranda with a nice counter. She's going to go up on criteria 4-4. Oh, 4-4 the score, but no, criteria does not being signaled by the score clock. She gets a front headlock turn. She's up by 2 now and looking for the fall. 6-4 score on mat 1 between the teammates, Rose Miranda, Dina Halil. On mat 2, we got Hector Prado, Liam Black, from Border Town Brawlers, in a really crazy situation. Liam Black is in on a single leg, trying to get a score, trying to take Hector Prado down. Hector Prado doing a nice job of defending. There's no scores here, not yet, but if Hector Prado can lift in this crotch lift position and expose Liam Black's back, he will score a 2-point exposure. There's no action there. They may stall this action here. There's no scoring opportunity. They're going to blow the whistle, bring them back up to their feet. On mat number 1, we got a 6-6 tie score heading into the 30-second intermission between periods. Both ladies looking tired. All right, you got 30 seconds, ladies, to regain your energy, regain your stamina and your strength to be able to battle it out for bragging rights on the team. It's a 6-6 score. Let's see who can score. Yeah, let's see who can score this next set of points. Break that 6-6 tie. We have a 0-0 match on mat 2, period 1, between Hector Prado and Liam Black. Not on our broadcast, mat 3, we've had 2 other Coronado wrestlers, teammates, Alejandro Marin, Landon Jackson, battling out in Greco. These 2 are honestly probably more well-versed in Greco. They seem to like it and gravitate to it more. And so it's great to see these teammates go at it because, again, there's familiarity, so they're comfortable, they're relaxed. This is an opportunity to kind of let it fly and really try something new, try to surprise your teammate with something, and not feel the pressure of like, oh, I got to beat this kid because he's from a different school. It's your teammate. The only thing you got is bragging rights at practice.
And a battle right there on mat number 1. She trying to roll her over.
trying to roll her through, unable to, so they'll break the action, bring them back up to their feet. It's a 1-point differential with 2:19 left in that second period, so some action's got to be, we got to pick up the action by Rose Miranda to be able to get back into this match. We'd like to thank our sponsors for this tournament again, Tropicana Properties. We're so grateful for your partnership with us. Great staff over there, very, very helpful, and extremely supportive of the wrestling community. And, it's one of those things where we always say, how they say it takes a village to raise a kid. Well, it takes an entire community to make these things happen and to raise the level of wrestling in El Paso. And we're grateful for Tropicana's contribution to what we're trying to do here with El Paso Wrestling. A big shout out to you guys as well. Ace, thank you for being here and broadcasting this event. We look to do more and more events with EP Sports Network as we're working on some great events for the upcoming season. For next school year, we've got some great tournaments that are going to be hosted here in El Paso, and hope to showcase some of our finer wrestlers in the greater El Paso area.
We are looking forward to it. Like I said, a lot of competition here, over 32 plus high schools. When you factor in more with the private schools as well, competing, just a breadth of competition here. Luckily, we just don't have 2 high schools. It would be kind of boring.
Right, I agree. No, and you know what? The added effect, if you will, is the fact that we've got Las Cruces. That's not so far away. Great wrestling.
And international. Maybe Juarez might come over every once in a while.
We did have a conversation with the former Jamaica and Angola freestyle coach about...
but before we do that, look to Mat 1, 10-10, less than a minute.
Oh, here we go. Someone's got to have to break up this tie and take matters into their own hands. Dina Hello trying to hit an arm throw. Rose counters. Rose Miranda on top with a 2-point takedown. Goes ahead on the score, 12-10. So a 2-point differential with 30 seconds left. They're going to let them work a little bit longer. If she does not get to a hold that she can score with, they are going to bring them up. She's in a leg lace, and this is one of these locks where you can continue to just roll and score points. There's a 2-point exposure. She can continue doing this all the way to out of bounds. Another 2 points.
You call that the roly-poly, or?
That is a leg lace. And lots of people refer to it differently. Leg lace, ankle lace. We just call it a lace because sometimes you start at the knees and the hands slide down to the ankles, so it becomes an ankle lace, but a lace. Now Dina Halil
seconds left.
Oh, she's up by. Well, she scored a 2-point takedown, but she's got to get 2 turns here. The next. Oh no, she's going to run out of time. Yeah, it was a close one. Battle of teammates.
Bragging rights,
and I believe someone's got to buy the loser's got to buy lunch.
There you go. A lot of matches here. About how many matches you say are still kind of left in this event here?
You know what? It's not a large event, and that's one of the other reasons why our partnership with you is so important. Is the fact that we want to continue to build excitement around the sport. Like I said, it is put on by the Coaches Association and the clubs. We do this out of the our own interest in developing our athletes and our teams and our programs and raising the level of wrestling in El Paso. And so it's one of those things where it's like. Not as supported as, obviously our UIL season. And so that's one of the things we wanted to do is find ways to build the hype, to garner more interest in off-season wrestling so that these kids continue to develop and continue to be excited about the sport, continue to be excited about training. It is a difficult sport. We do try and train in cycles to where we'll give kids some time off and allow them to, recuperate physically, mentally, and just be excited about what they're doing. And so one way that we decided to do that is partnering with you guys so that we can, broadcast this. They can see themselves on the big screen. Family members can see them. They can hear the commentary, they can hear the noise in the background, and bring a real live, almost like a featured event for them, so that they're excited about it, and they're willing to participate, put in the work, put in the time to be here and perform well.
I said we look forward to producing many more of these tournaments here. I said the competition always reloads, so that's a beauty.
Yeah, especially with the fact that El Paso wrestling, we're one of the sports that is able to compete at the state level and bring medals home and hardware, and so we're looking to make sure that our athletes are recognized for their efforts, for their hard work, and we're extremely proud of what these guys do. These guys and girls do.
Easier to say athletes. Keep it easy.
Correct, right?
Keep it easy.
Yeah, that's probably that. Thank you. I got to pick up on your broadcasting tips, because I will forget. And what's funny is even in the practice room, I was, hey guys, we need to do this. I'm like, guys and girls. When I say guys, I mean everyone. Like, hey y'all, hey guys, and so.
Or you can go back to the professional wrestling days, like Scott Hall, and just say, hey yo.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh, pin attempt over here on mat number 2.
Yeah, Gael Ornero, a solid wrestler from America's High School, and really slick wrestler. Really good on his feet. He hit a nice gut wrench here a second ago, and so you can see the development. He's not only hitting stuff on his feet, but he's also being able to score those turns in the freestyle and Greco styles.
And a pin almost over here on mat 1.
My goodness. Oh, he gets out of it. Dante Vargas able to survive that scare. And now in on the legs. Now looking to finish on Andrew Zuniga. And no, they're still fighting it out. Okay, surrenders the 1-point reversal. So that's unique also to freestyle and Greco. There's a 1-point reversal should the opponent that's on the bottom able to reverse the position to the top position. It's a 1-point reversal. In folk style, it's a 2-point reversal. In freestyle Greco, it's only 1 point.
And he got the pin.
He did. Goodness gracious. He was in trouble there and pulled it out.
Great, quick, fast competition there. Like I said, it's putting it to their test there, ready for a 10-point win.
Yeah, and on mat 2, we have another 10-point win. 12-2, your final score. Gael Ornelas over James Barty. Both of them solid high school wrestlers. I believe Gael Ornelas is a senior, so graduating this year and moving on. James Barty still has another year to go, and we're looking for him to do some great things. He's one of those kids who's the full package. Great kid, great attitude. Extremely good in the classroom, very dedicated to his academics, and then also puts in the hard work on the mat. And he's a well-rounded kid, a model of what we want our wrestlers to be. Strong on the mat, strong in the classroom. It's one of those adages that we always tell the kids, hey, you're a student athlete, student comes first.
Yes, sir.
I tell him, hey, take it from this old man. Wrestling will never pay you $1. I think I lose money coaching this sport, but
unless you're Kurt Angle and you go WWE. And,
this is true. This is true.
It is true.
At my 5'7" stature and 185 build, I don't think I belong in WWE. So I'm unable to make that transition and make the big bucks. So I'm here teaching and coaching, which is a great passion of mine regardless. And the payment is, and the reward is, being able to be around this community, being able to put on these events, and really just seeing the growth of these kids and seeing their development. It's it's one of those things where I don't anticipate all these kids to go on and wrestle at the next level, but the tools and the experience that they gain from this, that's what's valuable and can really, really help them in life. And so, that's the reason why coaches do it, and the shout out to the coaches that are here today helping out. This is, like I said, it takes a community to be able to make this work. It's not just, us hosting here at the school. It's all the coaches that help out, put this tournament on. We'd like to give a shout out to Coach Carlos Armendariz from Bel Air High School for helping out with the tournament. Coach Oscar Norris from Montwood here helping out as well. We've got Coach Freddie Flores helping us out remotely via track wrestling and being able to share his expertise on track wrestling to make sure this event runs without a hiccup, runs without any obstacles, any technical difficulties on the track wrestling side. So we've got Jordan Solis battling Joan Rodriguez. Two big boys going at it on mat 1. Jordan Solis, like I said, is looking to continue wrestling at the next level. Had a visit with Shriner University. We'll have to follow up with him and see if he's committed to wrestle at Shriner University. And Texas is getting on the board with college wrestling. We've got Shriner University that wrestles. We've got Wayland Baptist that wrestles. Texas Wesleyan, and let's not forget Tarleton State is our first D1 program in Texas, bringing back D1 wrestling to Texas, I should say. Back in the day, West Texas, here in El Paso, the former West Texas University, UTEP, used to have a Division I program back in the day.
And it looks like that is a first-place match, according to what I see on track wrestling, right? I guess
that is awesome. You're correct. It looks like first-place match between Joan Rodriguez, Jordan Solis on mat 1, and closely contested. Jordan Solis is one of those big, powerful athletes that can score points in bunches. Joan Rodriguez able to slow him down and scoring his own point with a 4-1 3-point differential in period 1 with a minute left to go.
And on mat 2 finished, Yusuf got the win in the third-place match there with
Awesome.
the 10-point.
There was a lot of points being scored there, a 12-2 point differential, so the 10-point technical superiority ends the match for Yusuf Ubayel, claiming the third-place medal. And on mat 1, period 1, we've got a 4-1 score. Joan Rodriguez, Jordan Solis battling it out for the first-place gold medal in the first-place gold medal match. Mat 3, which is not on our broadcast, which is our Greco first-place match, happening with Sasha Reznichenko from Coronado battling Angel Polendo from Bordertown Brawlers. The first-place match in the Greco side at 157. So another match not on our broadcast, but happening in the background with lots of action and scores being happening in the backside. Looks like Joan Rodriguez is in a great position to take the lead here. Oh, he's got Jordan in some trouble here. What are they going to call? 2-point exposure. 6-3 as time runs out in the first period.
All right, so we're going to move.
And so now they'll have the 30-second intermission to be able to regroup, rethink their strategy, and be ready to finish this bout off. 6-3 point differential. 6-3 3-point differential as we start the second period in this first-place match. Joan Rodriguez, Jordan Solis.
First place match. We're going to move that to mat 2.
0-0 in the first period. In period 2 of our first-place match in the Greco round. Sasha Reznichenko, Angel Polendo battling out for first place. 0-0 in that second period.
Great competition all around, like you said, even though it's not as many people as you wanted, but the quality of matches here did not disappoint.
It's not disappointed, not disappointing at all. And the other thing is that, hey, we got to do this. For those kids that want to be here, we're going to be here for you, man. We'll make sure that these tournaments are put on. Like I've always said, you keep coming, we'll keep putting them on. And so, that's what it takes is, those kids that want to continue, that want to spend their Saturday morning here, hey, we'll do it. We'll open up the gym. We'll put the mats down. Everyone is welcome to come out and wrestle, get better, learn a few things, And one of the things you see as well, since it's not a big tournament, these kids are able to converse, meet with one another. And you'd be surprised how many of these kids end up training together, end up being great friends, great training partners for one another, because they see, hey, you're here trying to get better, so am I. Let's work together to get better. And so it's a great community. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the wrestling season is when we do these things that, that we put on ourselves as coaches and with the help of the kids. I obviously did not put all these mats down myself. I had the kids here helping out. We had some kids from San Eli helping out this morning set up the mats. And so it's a great community event. It's a great effort by all those that are involved. Jordan Solis in on a takedown, a double leg, going up 8-3 over Joan Rodriguez. So, yeah, and if you can notice, our officials, these are high school students as well that take the responsibility of making the call, being on the whistle on the mat. And anyone that's ever refereed a wrestling match, that it can be absolutely terrifying out there, nerve-wracking. But these kids are able to, get out there, put their fear aside, and make the calls on the mat and help us out by providing quality officiating for these tournaments. And and it goes on to credit to them that they spend the time learning the rules, learning how to make the correct calls. And so it's a great testament to, again, it's a community event. It's a community-sponsored tournament. It's not just us at Coronado. It is everyone that helps make this happen. Coaches, athletes, referees, sponsors, everyone makes it happen. EP Sports Network making it happen.
So it's a great Saturday morning here. This is broadcast 1 of 12 that we'll be doing here. Currently on the site, we got the NFL Flag Football Region 19 Championship started here. Games are moving fast there as well.
What a great event. Flag football, why not? Bring it, any type of sport that gets kids, people involved. It's important. Maybe they're a little tentative to put the pads on and go head-to-head with the helmet. But flag football, it's one of those things where I remember as a kid, we were doing it, in youth as flag football in PE, and,
Exactly.
Nobody got hurt. It's safe. It's a great way to participate in the sport without, relatively less risk or opportunity for injury. So it's a great way to get involved. Flag football.
Exactly, and this is the first ever female pilot program here with 38 high schools participating in this first ever Region 19 tournament. As we got a victory over here for first place. 10-point rule. I want to say run rule because of baseball season. But
10-point technical superiority from Jordan Solis, Parkland High School, over Joan Rodriguez from El Paso High, winning the first place medal. Jordan.
And a quick pin right here on mat 2 already for first place. That one is one in the blue corner, I believe.
That looks like Sebastian Metzger picked up the fall over Andrzej Zuniga, catching him on his back, putting him away. Yeah, man, it happens that quick.
It happens that quick.
It's one of those things. That'll end the match. A fall ends the match, regardless of score, regardless of points. A pin is a pin, and like I said, that's one of the things. As long as there's time on the clock, you catch your opponent on the back, put them away. You are the winner, regardless of what the score was. So it's kind of like the knockout punch, if you will, in boxing.
All right, get that MMA. Pin. Get that pin.
It ends the match. Ends the match regardless of score, and so great way to put those techniques to use and mount a comeback, if you will, and finish off with the win.
Was those the last matches there, Coach
That
Mesa?
could have been. We're going to have to double check with our tournament director, but it does look like we may be done for the day. But let me look at one other thing. Let's go look at the mat assignments and mat schedule. And that may be the last bouts of the Coronado Cup for 2025. I will double check and confirm with our tournament director.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll let you guys know.
Awesome. Thank you.
right there, Coach Mesa. Coronado Cup complete here. For me, I'm excited to see what new opportunities we can grow together to promote this sport with our broadcast and the different platforms and the new technology that's available. So I appreciate you allowing us the opportunity to grow this sport digitally now in this new world of 2025 and beyond.
Well, I thank you, and I appreciate you guys for being here. It's one of those things that, if we can grow the sport of wrestling through your platform, it's a great benefit to us, and we're extremely grateful for the coverage because, it's one of those things where we've got to get the message out. El Paso Wrestling, we got a lot of talent here. We got a lot of kids who can wrestle, hopefully wrestle at the next level, and we're proud to have you guys on board with this mission that we have as coaches. And we look forward for more broadcasts and sharing some more insight as to what's going on in El Paso wrestling.
Perfect. So for Coach Mesa and I am Ace here for EP Sports Network coming from Coronado High School, this has been the Coronado Cup. You've been watching it right here on EP Sports Network.